Hello students, let us learn solution today. This topic is common in class 12 also. So we are doing it now. We shall not be repeating it in class 12. So please pay attention and try to understand it. So let us first define what is solution. There are a few things which you have to remember in defining solution. The first thing is the solution should be a homogeneous mixture of two or more components, minimum two, it may be more. So a homogeneous mixture of two or more components is called solution. Since it is a mixture, the components doesn't undergo any chemical reaction. They can be separated by ordinary physical methods. So when you write the definition of solution, you can also include these lines. Solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more components which do not react chemically. Now, if a solution is having two components, then we call it a binary solution. Solute, usually represented by the symbol B, plus solvent, usually represented by the symbol A, makes a solution. When we put a arrow, unidirectional arrow, it shows that you can dissolve more and more solute to the solvent. That means it is not a saturated solution. By convention, solute is always given lower priority and hence it is represented by B or 2. And solvent gets higher priority, so it is always represented as A or 1. Now what happens is, if a solution is saturated solution, then as you know, in saturated solution, solute will not be dissolving its solvent anymore. So B plus A, B means solute, A means solvent. We separate it by a reversible arrow and we write solution. So what does it mean? It means that if solute and solvent are added together, they will form a solution, and from the solution, same amount of B, that is the solute, will separate out. Okay. So if you have this symbol, you can understand it means a saturated solution. Now, when we have solution, to have a quantitative approach, that what is the amount of solute in it, what is its concentration, we have various terms used. And the terms which you need to learn in your syllabus is percentage, most commonly mass percentage, then mole fraction, molarity and molality. Mass percentage means mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. Now here we have learned mass percentage, which we represent W by W. Sometimes you may have a percentage which is W by V. That means in the numerator you will have mass of solute and in the denominator you will have volume of solution. If you have V by V percentage, you will have volume of solute divided by volume of solution into 100. So accordingly you have to make changes. Next we have mole fraction. It is the ratio of number of moles of a particular component to the total number of moles in the solution. If A and B are two components of a solution, the number of moles of A is represented as Na and number of moles of B is represented as Nb, then the mole fraction of A in solution, represented by the symbol chi A, chi, C-H-I, chi, is equal to Na divided by Na plus Nb. Similarly, mole fraction of B will be chi B, which is equal to Nb plus Na plus Nb. Now, if I add up any of the fractions, you should know that the sum of the fractions is always 1. So, chi A plus chi B, if you add up, it will be Na divided by Na plus Nb plus Nb divided by Na plus Nb. The LCM being same, it will be Na plus Nb. So, in the numerator, if you add, it will be Na plus Nb again. So, the total sum is coming to be 1. So, if you can calculate only chi A, to find out chi B, you can simply subtract it from 1. So, this is a very important formula for you to remember, chi A plus chi B equal to 1. So you can understand mole fraction will never exceed the value 1. Now let us try to calculate or represent the formula in the form of known quantities. We replace Na by Wa by Na. As we all know, N is equal to W by M. Similarly, Nb also we replace by Wb by Mb. We don't rearrange the formula any further. When we do the calculation, we don't take LCM also, otherwise the number will become unnecessarily lengthy. Then chi b will be Wb by Mb divided by Wa by Ma plus Wb by Mb. So that's how we calculate mole fraction, and remember mole fraction has no unit and it is independent of temperature. The next we learn is molarity. How we define molarity? It is the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. So remember, if you take 1 mole of a solute and you make a solution of 1 liter, then the concentration will be 1 molar. Molarity is represented by the symbol capital M. So we write the formula capital M equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. It is important to mention in liters, and remember the symbol for liter is capital L, not LT, as some of you have write. So we replace the symbol of number of moles of solute by Nb, and in the denominator we simply put V. We don't put Va or Vb because Va will be volume of solvent, but here our requirement is volume of solution. So we write Nb by V only. Then we replace Nb by Wb by Mb, and V, since always we don't prepare a solution in liter, we make it in smaller quantity. So we write the unit of V to be milliliter or centimeter cube. But according to the definition it has to be expressed in liter. So we divide it by 1000 to convert milliliter or centimeter cube to liters. So when we rearrange everything, the formula for molarity becomes Wb by Mb into V. Don't forget to mention the unit here, into 1000 in the numerator. Now what will be the unit of molarity? To find out the unit of molarity, we look for this equation. Since number of moles, the unit is mole, and in the denominator we have liter, so unit of molarity is mole per liter. Now a very important question comes here: is molarity dependent on temperature? The answer is, let us try to find out. You can see molarity depends on mass of a substance, which is independent of temperature. It depends on molar mass of a substance, which is also independent of temperature. But molarity depends on volume, which is very much dependent on temperature. We know that volume is directly proportional to temperature and molarity is inversely proportional to volume. So what will be the relationship between molarity and temperature? We replace volume by T, so molarity becomes inversely proportional to temperature. Very, very important. Next we go to molality. I'll be giving you 2 more formulae for molarity. Let's continue with the discussion first. Molality represented by the symbol small m. It is the number of moles of solute in 1 kg of solvent. Please check. In molarity it was 1 liter of solution, and in molality it is 1 kg of solvent. Be very careful about this difference. So when we replace it by the symbols or express it in the form of formula, it is number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. So when we replace the formula number of moles of solute, we write Nb. Mass of solvent we write in kg. So Nb divided by Wa in kg. So Nb equal to Wb by Mb divided by Wa by 1000, if we take Wa in grams. As you know, every time we need not prepare a solution in kilograms. And when you write kilogram, be very careful. The K should be small letter and G also should be small. If you write capital K, it represents Kelvin. Then we rearrange the formula. Molarity small m equal to Wb by Mb into Wa in grams, and the conversion factor 1000 go to the numerator. Now what will be the unit of molarity? Unit of molarity will be from here, as unit of number of moles is mole and mass is in kg, so unit is mole per kg, or in some cases you may find it's written molal. For molarity it's written molar, in molality it's written molal. Now, okay, this part is already discussed. Is molality dependent on temperature? Molality is not dependent on temperature, because here it is dependent on mass and molar mass, and none of them are dependent on temperature. As I said, we will be discussing two more formulae actually for molarity. Molarity can also be written as 10xd by mb. This formula you have to remember, 10xd by mb, where x stands for mass percentage. Like if the concentration of the solute is expressed in percentage, then we consider it to be x, and d is the density of the solution in CGS system, that is gram per ml. Now you can work out this formula, numerical. Calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol C2H6O2 in a solution containing 20% by mass. Now here it is very important for you to remember this question. If it is asked in the exam, it may be asked for 2 marks only. But for getting 2 marks, you have to write what is given and you get half mark for it. Then you write the correct formula, you get another half mark for it, and then you work it out, get the correct answer, you get another 1 mark for it. So it's very important to write the steps. So please write down here, given mass of solute, that is ethylene glycol, symbol is Wb, which is 20 gram. From where we got 20 gram? Because it is 20%. By 20% we mean 20 gram of ethylene glycol in 100 gram of solution. Remember, not solvent, 100 gram of solution. So mass of solvent will be, sorry, here I made a mistake, please make a correction. This mass of solvent, which is represent as Wa, will be 100 minus 20, that is 80 gram. Then molar mass of solute, we have to calculate. Since we know the formula of the solute, we can calculate the molar mass of solute, which is coming to be 62 gram per mole. So for writing till here, you get half mark. So molar mass of water we all know is 18. One thing I would like to mention here, nothing has been specified regarding the solvent. So when nothing is specified regarding the solvent, you have to understand that the solvent is water. So we put the correct formula. Since ethylene glycol is the solute, so we have to find out chi b. So chi b is Wb by Mb divided by Wa by Ma plus Wb by Mb. Here again I would like to bring to your notice that the equality sign and the division line should be together. Otherwise there are so many division lines, it will create confusion. So you just put the values. Wb is 20, Mb is 62, Wa is 80, Ma is 18. So you express them in terms of decimal. Don't go for LCM as I said earlier. So the answer is coming to be 0.068, and mole fraction doesn't have any unit. Now, if they ask you also to find out the mole fraction of water, you need not go through the entire procedure. What you should do is simply subtract the value of chi b from 1 to get the value of chi a. So I have just worked it out for you. So it is 0.932 after subtracting from 1. So that's how we have to work out the numericals based on mole fraction.